Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to the live stream here on the channel. Glad to have you guys all in here today. Let's see what we have on in here. We have Caleb, we have Legacy, Indiana. We also have the random guy, Jonathan, LWX24, Samuel, Susan, Indiana, and Proxy, as well as everybody else who is watching the live stream, may not be chatting, or anybody I may have missed as well. Glad to see you on in the stream today. And yeah, let's just go ahead and switch our scene on over so we can talk about our tornado potential. I don't know if we have, real quick. Okay, we do not have a severe thunderstorm warning anymore. Hopefully everything's good to go. Honestly, didn't even bother to do a check before I even opened Streamlabs today. So yeah, we did get a tornado watch issued over the last, I believe about 30-ish minutes ago. One injury, a tree fell onto a car, a pickup truck along Highway 78 in Graysville. One occupant reported a headache and a neck ache. Exact time of incident is unknown. Yeah, that does say non-thunderstorm wind gust, but that may be associated with a thunderstorm, thanks to it's directly off to the west there of that report. But hopefully that person's okay. That is an injury. We've had a lot of damage reports over the last 12 hours out here in Mississippi into Alabama, and even a few, I didn't look too closely, but I'm sure we had a few possibly as far east as western Georgia earlier this morning. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. There's your now post-tropical. It was a tropical storm this morning, and then it got downgraded to a post-tropical storm, or a post-tropical cyclone is what you call them, an hour ago at the 5 o'clock advisory. You can see your low pressure is going to be centered generally somewhere over there in Memphis. Not a lot of flash flooding today, just some isolated flash flooding, although we do have a moderate risk for excessive rainfall, I believe, out in northeastern Alabama. We'll go into that here in just a bit. But first, I do want to go ahead and point out a few supercells I have been watching over the last hour or so. I really thought one was going to get tornado warned, so I had the stream ready to go up and ready to start just in case one of these did get tornado warned. None actually got that tornado warning status there, but I do believe we could have had a brief spin-up tornado somewhere around Selma and Burnsville here in Alabama, right about 35-ish minutes ago there. I didn't see a debris signature. However, that area of rotation coupled with the quite evident hook echo there would not shock me if the National Weather Service goes and surveys this area for potential tornadic damage. But let's go to our current radar imagery. You can see a couple indents here. You have your main leading supercell out here in well to the northwest of Montgomery, Alabama. There's a few miniature cells that are embedded behind this. You can see those two little areas of rotation, maybe even a third one trying to form out here as well. So there's a couple areas of very marginal rotation that I'm going to be keeping an eye on for the potential of a spin-up tornado over the next 2-ish hours or so, as well as keep an eye on the potential for a kind of a QLCS type tornado threat to spin up here in and around our radar site, just around Birmingham metro area, pointing to the south. I don't think that tornado threat's going to be that high at all, but I wouldn't be shocked to see a quick spin-up tornado somewhere along that area later on today as instability continues to pull up northward. Let's go over our risk area. We'll take off that watch for the time being. Here is your risk for today. We do have a large slight risk for severe weather in place all the way from the western side of the peninsula of Florida into a good chunk of the panhandle of Florida, all the way back up towards Birmingham, Alabama. This includes populated cities like Tallahassee, Birmingham, Dothan out here. So there is quite the population inside that slight risk. Main risk for today is primarily going to be tornadoes. The potential for a couple tornadoes, mostly brief and weak in intensity, will be a possibility. We do have an enhanced risk for severe weather in Montana and North Dakota for the potential of 80+ mile-an-hour winds later on tonight. That will not be the main focus of today's live stream, hence the title as well as the thumbnail focusing over Alabama. This risk will be primarily after we end stream beyond 9 p.m. Eastern daylight time there, and it's going to probably last all the way until 1 or 2 a.m. Eastern. So that's going to be a mainly late evening into the early overnight hours for that risk for severe weather, and that is a level 3 out of 5 there. But that is one of our first enhanced risks in a little while. I can't remember the last time we had an enhanced risk. It was probably that, geez, I can't even remember it. I feel like we might have had a 10 sig at some point somewhere, but I can't remember. But it's probably been at least a week. I'd say at least a week or so. And we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in this area for the potential of primarily damaging winds and some large hail. But a brief tornado can't be ruled out as well. And we will be seeing a new watch issued in the enhanced risk area for primarily damaging winds, large hail. And they do mention the threat of potentially 85 mile per hour winds now. They were mentioning 80, but now 85 mile per hour winds, if not maybe even potentially approaching 90. May be a possibility today, depending on how storms interact. But we'll be watching a couple of supercells that fire out in this area and track relatively quickly up to the northeast. So primary tornado threat by far today is definitely going to be focused inside our tornado watch area out here in Alabama. It is going to be a brief tornado threat today. Will most likely only be needed for an hour and a half to 2 hours out here covering this risk for tornadoes. The watch goes for another 5 hours. However, storms are going to move out of this area relatively quickly, depending on exactly how fast what is this one? Post-tropical cyclone Francine moves up northward, but it will be a relatively slow storm motion today. I don't think storms will move that fast, so that could contradict exactly how fast these storms get out of that watch area. So it is a small watch area, but storms are moving slower than what we normally see. Normal storm motion, in my opinion, is right around 40 to 50 miles per hour. These storms, I haven't guessed at the storm motion here and how fast they are moving. It'd be a little difficult. Okay, let's see. So this was about 40 minutes ago. So this storm here is going to be moving at near 40, about 35, 40 miles per hour here, moving up to the northeast, close towards, eventually approaching Birmingham in about an hour or so. So they're not really moving that slow. It definitely feels like these are moving slower, though, back here towards the Canton area. That's going to be where our primary tornado risk will be today. It looks to be in between Birmingham and Montgomery, where that main tornado threat should stay. Even though that 5% does span all the way back down towards the Florida Panhandle, I do think primarily Florida is done with their tornado threat for today. Although we still can't rule out a brief spin-up tornado out there in Florida. I just don't see much of a possibility. Honestly, a little surprised they kept that slight risk so far south on their newest update. Instability is going to be your main limiting factor. We just got a new mesoanalysis update, so I will go ahead and dive on into that just briefly. It's currently, it should be 22Z, correct? Yeah. So actually, we're going to wait just a little bit longer to show that. Mesoanalysis hasn't fully came in yet. There's nothing to be concerned about in Chicago anytime soon. And if there is, we'll start mentioning it. That's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for Montana. 1.5-inch hail and 50-mile-an-hour winds up here. Now, don't take those velocities into consideration. We are looking very high up, and there's also a lot of mountainous terrain that interferes with radar, especially if you're looking into western Montana. I don't know how bad the mountainous terrain is in eastern Montana, into North Dakota and northwestern South Dakota. But we will have to account for that. There's also a big lack of radar coverage. You can see these little brown radar dots here. Those will give us some very localized, very localized regions of radar coverage, but they're not going to provide that much of relief to our large radar hole over here. You can see we have a radar here, main radar here, and our other main radar back up here, and then another one in Rapid City. So there is a really good radar hole directly over pretty much all of our enhanced risk and a very large chunk of our slight risk. Radars only go out to good coverage. Radars here, here, about here, and this one's going to reach about here. So yeah, you could draw a little box right there, and that's going to be your radar hole. So really large chunk of that enhanced risk and that slight risk is under a radar hole. You can see the edge of your radar beam right there. So you're going to have inaccurate data if you get even close to that radar beam. Between here, after this beam right here where I just drew this white line, after that your data becomes more inaccurate. Let's see. I want to go back over here. So if we are going to see a QLCS type spin up tornado out of this threat, it's going to have to be out of probably either this stronger storm here or maybe this one up here. At the moment, I would be betting on this one. However, the more northeast storms move, the less instability they have. So I'm not that confident in a tornado threat as far north as Birmingham. I think if we were going to have a spin up tornado inside this line of showers and thunderstorms, it's not really a line of like severe thunderstorms or anything. It's just a line of rain showers and some thunderstorms. If we were to see a spin up tornado out of it, I think it would have already happened about an hour ago, and I didn't see any type of rotation there. So I feel like the only area to really watch at this point is going to be the leading edge of this cluster, which will be this supercell here over like the Billingsley area. And we'll monitor that. Not much to look at. You do have some clear air contamination out in front, so there may be at least some inflow entering the leading edge of this cell. I'd like to look at our analysis radar to see if... Yeah, so if those outbound winds do increase, like for instance, what we had back here towards like the Burnsville and Selma area, then we're going to start worrying more about an imminent tornado threat there. But at the moment, that is definitely a more minor threat for a tornado at this point. But we do have to still watch it, as well as this one south of Selma and the one north of Selma for the Valley Grande. It's pronounced differently in a lot of different places, but yeah, I don't think Chicago is going to be getting much severe weather. There's really not much I see on models for Chicago. It's always a good idea to pay attention to it. And just using your weather app like the ones you're using, AccuWeather or Weather Channel, they're both going to be able to slowly increase confidence with the potential of severe weather. But at this point, I don't see anything notable for Chicago anytime soon. I think the majority of the severe weather threats are going to be in the western plains, so North Dakota, Kansas, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota. That's the state I forgot. North Dakota, South Dakota, Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma. I think those are going to be the areas we have to watch for severe weather. I don't think we're going to see it any more east than that unless we can get a good model uptrend here, which isn't evident at this point. Let me see. Yeah, that rotation is starting to increase, but I'd really be concerned about a tornado threat with this storm if that outflow can increase here. So as long as you don't have any reds appearing up here, some darker reds appearing up, it shouldn't be that big of a tornado threat here. And we could use something like Radar Omega to help with that. If you look at Radar Omega, this takes into account storm relative velocity, and note now it looks like a really good couplet of rotation, right? I do believe there is a pretty good area of rotation, so you could see the difference between your high resolution velocity and your high resolution storm relative velocity. That incorporates the angle of the storm with the radar sight, and it just does that for you automatically, which can help to spot some of these areas of rotation, for instance, down here as well as back out here. So I do think actually now using this does actually look a lot more concerning. I didn't realize actually how strong those outbound winds were already. I should have switched to this earlier. So we may actually end up with a bit of a higher tornado threat with this storm. Definitely going to want to watch this. Could be warned, actually. This is probably near warning criteria with that area of rotation. This is going to be moving up northeast. Yeah, you could see on the newest scan there that green and red became much more gate to gate. So this is going to be right along Highway 82, in between Maplesville and just south of Billingsley. It did break apart again on that new scan, which is good news, but it could very easily tighten back up. As long as this can stay the more dominant leading storm, it's going to have a tornado threat. Another thing we can look at, since these are more messy storms, we can also look at echo tops to see what storms are going to be the strongest here and what storms we may have to watch. I don't know where the echo tops are. There they are. Yeah, so you can see the echo tops are definitely a lot higher with these storms further south. They're not that high, but they are starting to get up there, and that's evident with the satellite imagery. I'll show you the satellite. That's what you could really use for this. Zoom in on satellite imagery. You could see some of those cloud tops here, especially with this batch further down here. Starting to increase cloud tops there. So it's definitely not the best setup for tornadoes, but we do need to watch for a brief spin up tornado or two. That's why we do have a slight risk for severe weather as well as a tornado watch out. So once we get that could ramp up. It's not as good as what we do see here, or what we could see with QLCS spin-ups, but see those green and red velocities close to each other. Sometimes those can spin up quickly. However, we don't have a really good environment. You know, if we had like a moderate risk today, which is, we definitely wouldn't with this type of criteria, then we'd start to worry about those green and red spinning up quickly, but we don't have a really good environment. So we're going to have to look for already established supercells like this one here and this one here. So, yeah, right off the bat, I mean, you have this is a more linear look to it. It's a line that already, right off the bat, is going to decrease your tornado threat. But you could still see a spin up. So I'm going to continue to keep an eye on that. I do want to keep an eye on that, especially the southern edge right here. But I do not think it will be able to spin up, but still going to watch it just in case. Tropical storm is forecasted to make a landfall tomorrow, right about somewhere between 2 and 8 p.m. Eastern in Baja California. I don't know if we'll be covering that. A live stream tomorrow is currently uncertain. But yeah, I'm going to go back up here to this enhanced risk. Oh, we now have a significant severe for 1.75-inch hail for Claremont in northeastern Wyoming. So that is a significant severe, also known as considerable. Yeah, this is starting to get a better shape to it. Let's go back to that storm relative velocity. Yeah, see those green and reds? They're still close. They are still close together there. They're going to keep flopping like that, flip-flopping, where they just dissipate one scan, come back another, dissipate, come back, dissipate, come back. And until they can sustain, I don't think we're going to be able to see a tornado warning actually get issued here. We're going to have a storm that looks like it's going to be able to sustain that area of rotation enough for the National Weather Service to issue a warning here. All right. If we do get a risk for severe weather in Chicago, do you think the highest risk would be? I think marginal. Well, like Caleb just said, under that, it is impossible to know. I mean, we're not even close to any type of severe weather threat in Chicago. Severe weather is like for specifics like cities like Chicago, or for instance, you know, I'll just use this for an instance. We're watching this whole area for the potential of severe weather. As we get closer, we'll be able to narrow that down to a smaller and smaller area. So I'm just watching the general pattern unfolding on model runs, and it looks favorable for severe weather in this area. But exactly who's going to see severe weather in this region, that's impossible to know until we get closer. Kind of like with snowfall forecast, you know, for a winter season, you can predict generally who's going to have above and below average snowfall. But in terms of snowfall totals, typically, I know people do forecast for that, but typically you can't forecast that stuff unless you literally just look at the averages. So for instance, out here in Virginia, where I am, our annual snowfall totals are typically right around the realms of 6-7 inches of snowfall, and maybe actually a little bit higher than that. But I think the annual is about 6 or 7 inches of snowfall out here in Martinsville, Virginia. So currently, I think we'll have a below average season out here in Martinsville. So if I was forecasting snowfall totals for my specific city, I'd bring those down to like 2 inches of snowfall. So there is a way to forecast snowfall totals, but to be dead right across the whole U.S. is impossible. That's why I don't want to throw a risk out for Chicago because it's too far out. You know, our severe weather threat possibilities are still at least 6 days out there in the plains. And for Chicago, I'm sure they're further than that. Actually, our next potential severe weather threat is exactly 6 days out, Wednesday, September 18th. That's our next potential severe threat, and that will be for North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska. And then after that, we're watching a big trough that's going to swing through on the 20th and 21st of September. And if that can survive long enough, that could, in theory, if it survives, bring some severe weather for Chicago. However, we're not in spring or summer anymore. So instability and dew points, that stuff's going to start becoming more limited. Let me see. Yeah, so apparently in Martinsville, Virginia, where I am, the annual snowfall is 9 inches of snow. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that. Maybe 20 years ago, the annual was 9 inches of snowfall, but now, in my opinion, it's a lot lower than that. Well, LWX, unfortunately, I hate to tell you, I've got a winter forecast in the making. I did full research over the last 2 weeks. I've been doing research on winter, this upcoming winter season. It's taken me 2 weeks thanks to Francine. So, um, but today I finally got around to putting all that information into a graphic, and I have been able to make a pretty good graphic and a forecast I'm happy with. I just got to put it into a video. And most likely that will be out. According to the poll, there's a poll right now on community post. If you guys didn't see it, community post on this channel. There's a poll on when I should upload that video. It's looking like at the moment, I'm going to aim towards more of early October. I believe October 4th of this year to get that winter forecast out. I don't... October, like early October, late September, that's a good time frame to get winter forecasts out. I actually know a couple people who put winter forecasts out in July. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. I know at least 2 people who put out a video of a winter forecast in July. I'm like, what? I want to wait until like November to get my winter forecast out, but unfortunately, if I do that, I figure that is like almost cheating. This thing's becoming more of a blob. It looks more like a blob. So the tornado threat's still present there, but see how it looks more straight, kind of like that. Almost a more linear look, outflow dominant-ish look to it. So I do think the tornado threat's going to be decreasing with that. Whereas before, you know, on another 2 scans, you could kind of see that curvature and that inflow into your supercell, and since then it has dissipated. So still a tornado threat, but I don't think it has as good of a chance. I think this one's going to be a better one to watch now, because you could still see that inflow. It still has that miniature supercell look to it, although it is starting to get that flanking line of convection look there too, more outflow dominant. Can't time him out anymore. Wait, why were you going to time out Caleb? Why are you going to try to time out Caleb, Catman? Let me go back over to our analysis radar here. Yeah, so this is InRot. This is basically, this shows you areas of rotation on a scale. Our scale here is from, if you see green, about... how do I put this? I don't know how to put this. I guess the lighter the color, the stronger the rotation, because like this dark blue, or yeah, the dark blue is like no rotation. The light blue is getting pretty good rotation. Green is decent rotation. And then as you go into yellow, that's strong rotation. Red is very strong. And pink and white is into violent rotation. So although this has green, that area of, quote, rotation, in my opinion, looks to be more of clear air. Catman, I've already finished the research. I literally just have to put the graphics and make the video. I could, if I really wanted to, I could get it out probably tomorrow. And it'd still be really good. No, this area's... There's still a few areas here. I just don't see any, imminent tornado threats. I'm definitely not putting it out tomorrow. That wasn't me saying I'm putting it out tomorrow. So, yeah, 3 areas to watch in my opinion. We've, actually, maybe 4 now. Okay, no, still 3. 1 there. Definitely this one. Definitely this one. And then another one back in here. So, those are your 3 areas to watch. The main one I'm watching now is right here. This area was pretty tight a few points in its lifetime, actually. It's had at least 3, maybe even 4 different opportunities to drop a tornado. Its best attempt was definitely between Selma and over Burnsville. And then it attempted again when we were starting up our live stream. It tried to rotate even more, and now we'll see what it's gonna do this 4th or 5th time here. But it has a more outflow dominant look to it, so I'm not nearly as interested in it anymore. Next severe weather threat for the Great Plains begins on probably September 17th or 18th. Then we'll have another one the 20th to 21st. If you're wondering what is limiting most of our tornadic activity, it is the instability. Here's your current meso-analysis. This was put out about 20, almost 30 minutes ago now. Actually, 30 minutes ago now. Here's your instability axis. You can see that goes all the way back down towards Florida. And your thunderstorms, some trying to produce tornadoes, are generally right in this area. And the reason why they're failing is because they're on that edge of favorable instability. 500 to 1,000 instability is what I consider. That's the realm of what I consider when you start to get favorable for severe weather. My opinion, this time of year, 500. But in summer and spring, 1,000 instability is really what you need. But 500 definitely can work in cases like this. So I do still think we could see a spin up tornado, but it's going to have to come from that cluster that I just circled there, because these storms, that linear line I was talking about of a potential QLCS tornado threat, it's getting north of that instability axis, which is why it's starting to look garbage at this point. It's starting to look worse and worse for that very small tornado threat it did have. So if we do see tornadoes today, it's going to have to come from these storms down here. Meso-analysis on GR2 might also be able to point that out if I do mesofill. Yeah, see, that's your instability axis right there, the blue. That's going to be where you're entering a more favorable threat for severe weather to form, storms to fire up and thrive. But you really don't get good instability till that yellowish, whatever the heck that color is. So this is 500, and this is 1,000 instability out here. So Selma has 1,000, and if we go beforehand, when these storms were really attempting, which I believe was over Selma, I think we still, I'd like to see the National Weather Service survey that area just in case. Because we may have seen a spin up tornado. They were dealing with about 1,000 instability, whereas now they've moved out of that instability. They're still in between probably 2,000 and 1,000, or not 2,000. Man, that would be a lot more energy, but probably about 250 to 500 instability between Canton and Billingsley. I still don't know how to pronounce that. So it's enough to keep them going, but my question is it enough to help them strengthen and actually be able to rotate? Because you could see they're still maintaining, right? They're still going along. There's still thunderstorms, very heavy rain, and little areas of rotation. But are they going to be able to get better areas of rotation and try to produce tornadoes? Or are they going to stay with this messy rain cluster that they are right now? Weather forecasts are wrong more than not anyways. Yeah. I really just do it for fun because, hurricane season, and I mean, I do YouTube for fun anyways. That's what I like to do. This is my hobby. But those forecasts, I do a lot of research on them, of course, and that helps me get better at forecasting. So I do it for fun as well as to try to improve my forecasting of long range patterns, like what Catman's pretty good at. He's good at like Enzo and stuff like that. And that's what I'm trying to improve on. Hurricane season forecast, winter forecast. The tornado forecast this year verified really, really well. I don't remember the number I put on the screen, but my goodness, I'm actually going to have to go back to that because I remember at the end of the video, I put a very random specific number. And I wonder if we're anywhere close to passing that. I forgot what number I did. See if I can find it. Now I have piqued my own interest here. I'll have to look at it after I end this stream. Oh, never mind. I can look at it here. I want to go see what random number I said. Some people did comment numbers as well. Random guy, the tornadoes. We've had more tornadoes than what you put. Light switch. They also underdid the forecast. Isabel underdid the forecast. Tornado clips, which he said even upwards of 1,600 underdid the forecast. Lucky did just over 13 or 1,350, and he definitely underdid it. I think we're sitting at a little over 1,600 at this point. So, yeah. I'm gonna, oh, yeah, there goes their whole area of rotation, quote unquote rotation. Like I said, it was clear air. So, we'll see. We will see if this can try to pick up on rotation or not, but yeah. You could talk about other managing moderators? I don't think so. I don't think so. Man, I can't figure out exactly which one I said. I'm going to have to go rewatch my whole entire tornado forecast video. Welcome, Amy. I think you've commented some. I apologize for not reading your comments. Little north of Birmingham inside the watch area. What's my risk according to what you were saying? Yeah, you're not spamming. You know, if you comment it once every like 2 minutes or so, it's not spamming as much. But yeah, let me go ahead and tell you really quick. You said north of Birmingham? Yeah, your risk is very low. Instability, which is the main fuel for thunderstorms, is extremely low. So right off the bat, your risk for any type of hazard is very, very low. I think your main risks up here, anywhere from, I don't know exactly where, but generally in this area here, very heavy rainfall and some isolated gusty winds will probably be your biggest issue. You can't fully rule out a tornado, but I honestly don't think it's as big of a deal as what it could have been. You know, today was looking like a decent tornado threat, and then this morning it downtrended. Tomorrow as well, you could see a brief spin-up tornado around your area, so just make sure you have a weather radio or a way to receive watches and warnings just in case, but they're both very low-end tornado threats. Very, very low. Let's see here. Yeah, so you are in the watch area. You're just north of the Birmingham metro area. I do think you'll be hit eventually by this storm, so that's probably what's going to bring your biggest risk for some gusty winds and mainly very heavy rainfall as it very slowly, I think it's moving more like this, moves off well sharply to the northeast. Sharply to the northeast. And that tornado threat, it did have a marginal small tornado threat with it before, but it left the instability, and now it's just really a rain threat and isolated gusty wind threat. Oh, we got some lightning activity now. About time. Starting to get some lightning activity on this storm. West of I-65, well to the south of, let's see. What's a good area here that may be relatively known? We'll just say northwest of Prattville. Very far northwest of Prattville. So this is starting to become a more dominant, what was I calling it before? Dominant, I forgot what it is. Leading cell. It's the leading cluster of this, it's the leading storm of this cluster of isolated thunderstorms here. So that may be able to strengthen and attempt at an area of rotation later down the line here. So we'll keep an eye on that for areas like Rockford, and just before Rockford as well. You're all good, Amy. No need to apologize. Most of the time, if I end up accidentally skipping somebody's comment, most people actually end up spamming it. We've had a couple of those. That's a good way to get a timeout, but you didn't spam. You know, if you send the message even just once every minute, that's not nearly as spammy as what a lot of other people do. Let's see here. So we'll continue to watch this. This cell, I think that's going to be our highest chance for a tornado today. I think the main thing I'm going to wait for is the 7 o'clock meso analysis so we can see how far north that instability may be lifting here. But a little curious on why they did pull that tornado watch, honestly. There is definitely a risk for a brief spin-up tornado out of this, but yeah, I have a feeling the primary tornado threat was actually from like 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, so I almost feel like we're exiting that primary tornado threat. After 8 o'clock, the tornado threat's going to decrease. I can tell you that for sure. This is not the type of system where nocturnal hours are going to boost tornadic favorability here. So once that sun sets, it's like cutoff time. So 8, 9 o'clock Eastern is when that tornado threat's going to decrease, if it even ever increases. If it ever even increases. Tomorrow won't have nearly as much of an instability issue. However, it may have a little lack of wind shear. So today we have plenty of wind shear and a little of instability. Tomorrow, I think we're going to have a lot of instability and a lack of probably lower level wind shear. So I do think that's going to help to tame our tornado risk over both today and tomorrow's risk for tornadoes. And in the tornado threat in the plains, I don't see much of a tornado threat in the plains. For those wondering, with that big trough, it doesn't look like it's going to be a notable tornado threat. But it is beyond 150 hours out, so it could very, very quickly change. So we do want to monitor it for people all the way from North Dakota all the way down to Oklahoma. And then significant flash flooding is going to be a likelihood out here along the coastal areas of North Carolina, maybe even slightly inland into Virginia and North Carolina. I'll be monitoring that for a potential chase. However, if it's not a tornado threat or something to do with severe weather, I'm not just going to chase moderate rainfall. Then we have the tropical storm making landfall in Baja California. The typhoon in the Western Pacific downtrended. Something happened to that thing. It was looking like it was about to rapidly intensify last night. And I don't know what happened, but it must have been like a bunch of wind shear it hit, because it went from near, in my opinion, it went from near almost typhoon status to barely even a blob of rain. That thing ended up dying out faster than Francine when Francine first formed. This is getting its act together here. So I'm becoming a little bit more interested in that. Two of these areas now, actually. One in Burnsville and the one southwest of Cooper. So we'll keep an eye on that. Tor? See if you guys hear a beep any second. I don't see a Tor. If there is a tornado warning, you're going to hear a beep. Let's see. Tropical storm warnings were put out for Baja California. I missed that. So those are your 2 areas of rotation to watch. This one's becoming better. This one is indeed becoming better. If we can get rid of that, that kind of what it just did right there on that new scan. There you go. That kind of north to south orientation look. Then, yeah, this is going to be capable of producing a tornado, most likely. A very broad rotation, though, not tight at all. You can see 2 pretty broad regions of rotation here on both of our storms. They're both moving. This one's moving a little bit more eastward, whereas this one's moving a bit more northeastward here. Both of these are off to the northeast of Selma, south of Clanton in Alabama. Yeah, there's no tornado warning. Maybe you got it confused with a tornado watch. We do have a tornado watch, but there's no tornado warning. If so, it's extremely, extremely delayed. Well, those are your 2 areas to watch, both in Alabama. We could go back up to Montana. I mean, yeah. I was going to say, even if we had a tornado warning in Montana, you'd hear the beep because we get alerts nationwide. It's not just for one area. Well, that's trying to wrap up a little bit, but I don't believe we have much of a tornadic environment here. There is a 2% tornado risk, but it's definitely more of a wind and hail threat up there in Montana. Just briefly, I want to show you guys the tropical storm warnings in Baja California. Oh, it's a tropical storm now. I didn't realize that. Look, it just got named. That is your I named there. And I think what we're gonna get Gordon probably at any second. I mean, literally at any single advisory we could get Gordon. It somehow still isn't formed out here in the Atlantic. So we're about 2 named storms behind the EPAC here. And there's your tropical storm warnings, tropical storm watches. So we may cover landfall, but I doubt it. I doubt it. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Goal is to try to get to 50 likes here. Share the stream with your family, friends, social media, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We do these coverages for pretty much every 5% tornado risk, unless otherwise said. There is some 5% tornado risks that I deem not worth going live for, but then sometimes they do overperform and end up getting a lot of warnings, and then we go live for them. So, yeah, a live stream for tomorrow, that might just be my day off, because I do want to take one day off sometime. Tennessee, okay. Depends on where you are in Tennessee. Most of Tennessee is perfectly fine. The tornado risk is not high in Tennessee at all. It's mainly a lot of thunder and rain showers there. Some isolated thunderstorms, I should say, and a lot of rain showers. And also some gusty winds, thanks to the remnants of Francine passing by. Yeah, that's getting a better and better look on reflectivity. However, the velocity has actually decreased. So your velocity has started to decrease, and your reflectivity has started to get a better look. So it's kind of contradicting itself there. But now there's 2 quite well-defined supercells. Neither one of them are rotating like to the point where I think an imminent tornado is a possibility. But there's 2 broad areas of rotation here. One northeast of Selma and one to the south of Clanton, Alabama. But they could tighten up at any moment, which is why we are live keeping an eye on it. Severe thunderstorm watch has just been issued for the potential of 90-mile-an-hour winds with 85-mile-an-hour winds likely. So that's probably going to be a high probability severe thunderstorm watch there. It is actually moderate. Wow, that's honestly a little surprising considering they're anticipating 85-mile-an-hour winds and the potential for 90. So if you are in this severe thunderstorm watch that was just issued in Montana, this one right here, that is where we're looking at 90-mile-per-hour winds, 1.5-inch hail, and a very brief weak spin-up tornado. That tornado threat is by far the lowest could be possible. The tornado threat is very little concern. The wind threat is by far your biggest threat, then hail, and then your tornado threat is extremely low. And your only tornado watch currently active is this tiny little watch here in Alabama. So there's definitely a more underperforming risk happening at this point because nearly everybody inside that marginal risk and a very large chunk of that slight risk are going to see barely even anything out of this regional threat for tornadoes. This one is still ramping up. This area of rotation, in my opinion, is getting a bit better. It's still not to the point where I think we're going to see a warning, which is why I was surprised when someone in chat said there was a warning. Because both of these areas are very broad. They don't have any look like it may be a long-lived supercell anytime soon here. We are down to one severe, so if that severe does expire, we'll go back to our normal scene. I believe I put you as managing moderator, Caleb, 2 days ago. It was either yesterday or 2 days ago when I upped you to managing moderator. Which it should have been done earlier, but I may have forgot. It was whenever you mentioned it. I was like, oh, he's not managing moderator. I mean, I don't think that person was a troll. I just think people are too obsessed with caps. Connor did say if he passes by a tornadic storm, he'll end up doing an unplanned live stream, but I don't think he's gonna end up doing that. Did he? Okay, he still hasn't updated. We're gonna look at this. See if Connor Kroof is on here. It's Connor Croft. I know. I don't see him. I see 3 other chasers out here. So there are some chasers out there, but it's a very regional tornado threat today. Excuse me. It went from looking like a pretty good threat for tornadoes to quite trash at this point, almost. Almost a trash threat. Who kept saying they hate me? I didn't see anyone say that. Man, the mods are so fast I don't even get to see the trolls. Yeah, this just has it actually has a really, really good supercell look to it. You can see the very clear inflow here. And you have your clear slot in this area. So there's no reason for that rotation to not ramp up. If it does, if it doesn't ramp up, I wouldn't be too surprised because our environment's not that favorable. If this was a look for, like, if we had I can't even English. If we had better instability, this would be a really, really bad look. But because we have a low-end instability, it's more of a keep an eye on it, but not a big concern. I didn't know you could do that. Look at this. Look at this. Sorry, y'all. I gotta show this. Did you guys know? So here's the satellite on College of Do page. All you gotta do is press R and boom. Right? Did you guys know that? You guys been hiding a secret from me? All you gotta do is press R and the radar appears up on College of Do page. I did not know that. Thank you for the $2 donation, Amy. And I did see someone else gave a $2 donation. I apologize for not seeing that. Evie, thank you for that $2 donation as well. I sincerely apologize for skipping over that. I need to get better at looking at chat, my goodness. I've gotten worse over the last like 5 days or so. That also has a good hook too, so we do have two really good hooks, but both of them are lacking in the actual rotation department. So they are rotating slightly here, but not enough to the point where I think we have an imminent tornado. Or to the point where I think the National Weather Service is going to issue a warning. The strongest area of rotation was definitely, if I can loop it all the way back, I'll show you guys, where I think we may have actually seen an unwarned tornado. It was right around here. It was right around here. I don't know if that's the correct storm. It might have been that storm there, but one of these cells had a pretty good area of rotation, and I wouldn't be shocked if it put down a brief tornado. It's also far from radar too, so even though it looks like that's another issue, even though it looks like this area of rotation, wasn't that tight, it may have actually been a lot more tight towards the surface, because these are more of tropical tornadoes. If we do see a tornado, it'd be more of a tropical tornado, where they're more low-based. But this one here that we're looking at in Clanton, that is becoming more of an actual supercell. You can see still, I mean, your echo tops are almost, if not near 30,000 feet up. That's not that tall for an area of, or that tall for a supercell. That's still generally what we call a low-topped supercell. You also hear us call them mini supercells as well. But it is a low-topped supercell. I did see a storm going up over here on satellite in Decatur. I don't know how you pronounce it in Alabama. My pronunciations are horrific. But yeah, I do have family in the Birmingham metro area. So I've been keeping them posted with the severe threat, but it does seem like that is definitely gone down rapidly. Tomorrow looks okay for a regional tornado threat as well. We could have a couple tornadoes being a possibility. Just take it at the HRRR here. Not the best setup by any means. You can see the remnant low of Francine here. That allows for a lot of instability to be pulled up. And of course, that remnant low allows for some wind shear. However, Francine's obviously not a hurricane or a tropical storm, or now it's a post-tropical cyclone. So that wind shear has decreased and will continue to decrease. You can see the difference between the lower level wind shear, like for instance, what it looks like, right about what it looks like now. You can see that is 250, right around 250 helicity. And if we go into tomorrow's severe threat, you can see some scattered areas of upwards of 200 helicity there. But it's not nearly as high. And then the instability, like I said, instability today, you could see it's hanging pretty much, it's even further south than this. The HRRR is a little bit wrong here. The instability is even more south than that. But generally, your instability is very weak and in a very small area. Whereas tomorrow, you get this massive area of pretty good instability, especially over here from South Carolina into your potential tornado threat in Alabama back down towards Florida. So today, we're lacking on instability, but we have a lot of wind shear. Tomorrow, we'll be with a lot of instability and lacking with wind shear. So it's going to flip-flop. A lot of instability tomorrow, little instability today. If we just had a day where both of those meet, which was yesterday, we could see a locally higher end tornado threat, which is why yesterday I thought we were going to see a couple tornadoes overnight, but I actually don't believe we saw any. We may have had some very weak spin-up ones, but nothing that had like a big debris signature to the point where it warranted us to go live or anything like that. There is a damaging wind report there. I am a bit suspicious about that one. I want to see what the text on that is. Tree down, lawn debris blown onto the road. That is on a very coastal area, and I believe there was a tornado warning there, so I don't think that's tornadic, though, or they would have fixed that report. So I don't think we saw, we probably saw a tornado somewhere over the last 2 days or so, and it was just extremely weak, but I even doubt that. I feel like we would have had a report, but I don't know. Sometimes with these tropical tornadoes, man, they're so weak and barely even noticeable. It wouldn't even surprise me if some have even gone completely, fully unnoticed by even National Weather Service surveyors. Looks like most of our tornadoes were actually water spouts on the water. We had probably some big water spouts. So, Francine made landfall generally right around here. We were live for that for 4 hours. If it was just on the other side of that Bay Area, we would have had a potentially a significant tornado threat in this area. But because it made landfall so far southeast, all of our strong water spouts, they were water spouts. They were all in this area here. And we did end up with a few tornado warnings on coastal areas like here. Sidell had a tornado warning, and I believe even west of Gulfport, Mississippi had a tornado warning as well. But it was all offshore, and most of our stuff was offshore. And we, of course, had some decent circulations in these areas, and, you know, like I said, 2-3 tornado warnings, actually 3 or 4 tornado warnings. So who knows? I don't know if they're going to survey anything out here for tornadic damage, but it wouldn't surprise me if we had something go completely undetected at some point. I just don't think there was anything notable. You guys shouldn't be getting ads in the middle of the stream unless you refresh. I don't push ads on my live streams. When you first click, there's a chance you get an ad, and when you leave, like when the live stream's done, there's a chance you get an ad as well. So you just literally admitted to violating YouTube's TOS there, Pez. Congratulations. Not Storm, what did I just say? Ad blockers are violating TOS ban. Like, you could literally get banned for that. Still 2 areas of very minor rotation here. I'm not that interested in them, which is why I've gone on all these rants at this point. I've gone on a lot of rants. Let's see how good our radar is up here. Trash. Got it. Absolutely trash. We do have a significant severe again here. This one's in Montana for 1.75 inch hail. I am 99.9% sure an ad blocker is against YouTube TOS. Let's see. Let's see what they say here. Yeah, you could be completely banned from YouTube. Ad blockers violate YouTube's TOS. I thought so. That's why I've never used them. I ain't wanting to get banned. I mean, you guys can take that risk, but I don't want to. I don't suggest taking that risk. No, thank you. Ooh. Oh, never mind. I don't know if, are we ever going to get Gordon out of this thing? The National Hurricane Center has been forecasting Gordon to form It should have formed a day ago, like almost a full day from now. Almost a full day ago at this point, Gordon should have formed. So I'm starting to wonder. I mean, they have it as forecast here. All of these points are tropical storms, but these last few points here, where you can't even see anymore because we obviously have already passed it, was forecasted to be a tropical storm too, and it's still not a tropical storm. So we'll see if they change all those points to depression or even it not even forming at all. It is already a tropical depression though. Let's see. Yeah, so there's two areas of potential tropical activity out here in this AOI. There's actually, they may even expand this AOI further eastward because there's a risk that we see a tropical storm spin up out here, and then another risk that we see a tropical storm spin up along the coastline areas here. So, two different areas for a tropical cyclone to spin up. I don't think either one will become a tropical storm. They do have a 30% chance they may increase that slightly, but I don't see the most favorable environment for a tropical storm to form out here. Maybe worst case scenario, a tropical depression. Regardless of if a tropical depression forms, Bermuda will be seeing potential for flash flooding as well as the entire coastline of North Carolina into Virginia and South Carolina. That'll be over the coming days. Still some interesting looks on reflectivity, but velocities are just not ramping up. I don't think it's a lack of wind shear. We'll check at the new mesoanalysis. We'll do a full dive into mesoanalysis here in about 10 minutes, 9 minutes or so. Appreciate you guys for hitting that like button. We hit 50 likes on the stream. That was the goal for today. Greatly appreciated. I do want to see the end of the GFS model, see if it flops out anything like a hurricane or something. Snow! Oh. It flops out snow. Snow in South Dakota. Sure, buddy, sure. GFS always has to do something crazy. At least it ain't snowing like Oklahoma or something. I have seen a lot of talk on Twitter, but we all know how Twitter is, about the potential for the tropics to wake up. We're not in a lull yet, but we're in a little bit of a stopping phase here. We're keeping an eye on potential tropical storm Gordon out here. It is a tropical depression. At the moment, we're keeping an eye on these two AOIs that have low chances of forming, but there's no like threat to the United States for a hurricane or a tropical storm. I mean, there's, like I said, the threat for a potentially worst case scenario tropical depression into the Carolinas. But as we go to, I believe, the beginning of October, late September, I personally haven't done the research into this, but I've seen on Twitter that we may see a considerable uptick in tropical activity on the last few days of September into most specifically early October. But I haven't done any research on that, so I don't know if Catman's still in here and he could comment on that. But I mean, according to the our forecasts here, NOAA's forecasts, we're only like halfway through what NOAA is currently forecasting, so we should see a lot more tropical storms form in especially October. Especially October. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, Catman, talk about the potential for a near hyperactive phase in very late September into early and mid-October for hurricane season. I wanted to know if you've looked at anything like that. Because I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything on like models And I haven't actually done like a climatology, just a more in-depth dive. There you go. A more in-depth dive into if it will actually happen. But then again, Twitter did say pretty much every week people go out like 2 or 3 weeks out and they say hyperactive potential. So, for instance, early August, in late August, they were saying hyperactive, early September into late August, and now in early to mid September, they're saying hyperactive period in late September, early October. I have a feeling they're going to keep pushing it back until it just doesn't happen. Oh no, Caleb, you're going to love the winter forecast, buddy. I'll give you that. I'll give you that hint. Let's see. So yeah, we're gonna wait and see if any of these areas of rotation can ramp up here. I personally am interested in the Caribbean for late this month into October. Does it look like a hyperactive phase though, like Twitter said? I got rid of the word hyperactive. I stopped saying that. It wasn't too long ago, to be honest with you. A month ago. A month ago. So I think I stopped saying hyperactive in like early mid August. Around mid August is when I stopped saying hyperactive. There's no way. I just don't see it. If we were gonna have a hyperactive hurricane season, we would be lighting up in tropical activity right now. Like there would be, 4, 5, 6 tropical storms to track at once at this point, and it's just not happening. To the point where our ACE is almost below. We're almost below average for ACE. Don't know why I said ACE. Let's see here. Hyperactive, heck not. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we'll see a hyperactive phase. These storms still look good. I mean, they still look good on reflectivity. You can see the curvature. The curvature in these storms is still very much present. So they do have inflow with them in very small areas. Not really this one in Maplesville, but there is still very small areas of rotation with all these storms that are still trying to fire up and become mature here. This still, in my opinion, I think this one has the best opportunity of potentially producing a tornado later down the line. However, that potential, like I said, is going to start to decrease. Not performing that well, Michael, thankfully, despite a tornado watch now being out. So here's our instability. And yeah, you can see that instability. It's just not pulling far enough north. In order for us to have a good tornado threat today, your instability would have to look something more like that. That red line there would have to be closer to north of Birmingham. And if you look at your wind shear, still, I mean, you still have plenty of wind shear. Wind shear is not an issue. Lower level wind shear, not an issue. Mid level, not an issue. Supercell composite, that's still there as well. The only reason why that's relatively relatively low is because of the instability issue there. Lower level jet, you have that thanks to your leftover Francine. Mid levels, not really there. Lapse rate should be very low. Yep, very low lower level and very low mid level. So really, I mean, if we just had more instability, we'd have a better opportunity at a tornado or two today. There's still the risk for a brief tornado spin up here, but I'm quite confident it's decreasing. Let's see. Okay. So I don't think the tornado that's gonna verify today is what I'm saying. Which is that's never bad. That's never bad. That is never a bad thing. I know Twitter is probably going to be upset about that, but a tornado threat not performing is really good. That is the radar site. That is our radar site. Watch it. It will turn gray. So that's your radar site. You can see green over here near Atlanta, green. So that's just different radar sites. I don't know how long we'll stay live here. I'll probably stay live just right around 8 o'clock. It depends on the NHC advisory. Honestly, I do want to stay live to see what the NHC says. And like I said, even though we may be able to see 90-mile-per-hour winds up here in Montana and North Dakota tonight, I don't believe I'm going to cover that threat. It's just not a fun area to cover. I don't like covering this area, so if you're in that area, hopefully you're aware of the severe weather threat. Just it doesn't seem like it's going to be an area that I can cover thanks to the limited radar and the terrain out here. But I'll still, I'll still watch it. It's mainly a very significant wind threat. Very significant wind threat and that enhanced risk. If I go and switch back over to radar Omega, yeah, look at that. That is now almost fully dissipated. The one out here is nearly fully dissipated. This is probably, I don't know what that is. It's a very mini supercell. That's what it is. It's a really, really, really mini supercell. It might actually have a tiny little area of rotation on it, but we are far from the radar site west of Prattville, Alabama. I mean, they are starting to get into a better area with instability because they've actually moved. Nah, no, never mind. They're still moving northeast. I don't know why. For some reason, I thought they were moving southeast right there. Oops. Oops. Could have clicked the end stream button right there on accident. Thankfully, it wasn't more to the left. I'm just waiting for the day I do that, y'all. I'm waiting for the day I accidentally click the end stream button because on Streamlabs, there is no warning. Once you hit that button, you're done. You're done. Like, your stream's off. So I'm just waiting for the day I accidentally hit that. Can I get, like, county names on mesoanalysis or something? Yeah, there you go. Okay. So, they're leaving the instability, like, literally. Here is your SPC outlook overlaid with your, SPC outlook. And storms are currently right in the middle of that slight risk for severe weather. And you can see your instability stops right here. That's where your main favorable instability stops, right at that pink line. And storms are moving out of that area still. Now that line, that instability line, is going to keep moving northeast, but the storms are probably going to stay right on that line, if not slightly ahead of it. So I do think the threat for tornadoes is decreasing at this point, even though it's a little early and it's probably not going to fully be, a near zero tornado threat until 9 p.m. Eastern. I think we are already on the downtrend of a tornado threat. And I'll monitor for a stream tomorrow. I am not going to make any promises about going live tomorrow. But I will watch it. If I deem it needed, I'll end up hitting that go live button, and I'll plan the stream ahead of time. Next week, yeah, I'll definitely be live next week with the severe weather possibility in the plains. We'll be talking about it for a while. And I know Saturday I have some things that may interfere with the live stream, but I'm hoping I can get those things done before 6 o'clock and end up streaming at 6 on Saturday. And then Sunday or Monday, yeah, probably Monday, I'll just see in my neck of the woods if there's something to chase. Tornado threat for tomorrow. I haven't gone over that too much. It's lower than today, but I do think they may upgrade that risk just a bit. We might see an introduction to a 5% tornado risk somewhere in here. But even then, the threat is still conditional. It's still low like today. All it takes is a simple shift in instability or a simple downtrend in shear, and your tornado threat is going to be very, very low. So I do think we have the risk for a spin-up tornado or two, just like we do with today for tomorrow. But I personally don't see much of a threat tomorrow either. It's there. Like I see the potential there. I just don't think it's actually going to be able to play out. But if it does, we'll go live for it. If it does, we'll go live. If we start receiving a bunch of warnings, we'll hop on here. The threat in Minnesota, which I really didn't think this was going to happen. But the threat in Minnesota looks to be underperforming at this moment. However, I think it's going to really increase after we end the stream. Our prime threat for up to 90-mile-an-hour winds will be about 10 o'clock tonight. 9 p.m., 10 p.m. tonight. And we'll end the stream probably around 8 p.m. And that tornado watch goes for another a little over 3.5 more hours out here in Alabama. We got a little mini supercell outbreak right now. Thankfully, none of them are actually imminent tornadoes. There's just a lot of mini supercells here. Mini supercell outbreak currently over Alabama. I'm telling you, if we just had some better instability, that's what we were fearing, you know, especially yesterday. If we just had some better ingredients, we could have ended up with a tornado outbreak. Same for today. If we just had a little bit more northeastward instability, we could have ended up seeing a whole lot more tornadoes today. But because that instability is not, you know, instability is not a tiny thing for tornadoes. That is one of your key ingredients. If you don't have instability, you're not going to see tornadoes. So the instability out here in this particular area, I imagine it's probably about 100, maybe 200 instability. Now back out in this area, that's probably where you have almost 500 to 1,000. I mean, we can look at mesoanalysis real quick again with this. Yeah. So there's your 500 instability here and your 1,000 instability here. You can see most of the storms are starting to get out of that, and they'll continue to push out of that. Also, if you want to follow me on any other social medias, I have my link tree, first link in the description. You can follow my Twitter. You can join the Discord server. And the fourth link in the description is our chaser, Connor Croft, who you'll see quite frequently on this channel, especially during severe weather events that are more notable. This is a regional tornado event. There's really not a threat for damaging winds or hail out here. Connor is close to this area, but I'm pretty sure he's heading back up towards Illinois, and then he'll head probably out in the plains next week for that severe weather threat, if it ends up materializing to be a potentially significant threat. We don't have a command for that one yet, Caleb. Not that one. And it would be Twitter. I'm not putting X. I do not accept. I do not accept that site name. It's still Twitter in my mind. I have called it X before, but it's still Twitter. Twitter, X, same thing. See if Catman times out or deletes Nightbot's comment. I'm waiting for it. Yep, there it is. There it is. There's no way his stream is that fast. There's no way he heard me and then did it. I knew you would do it, Catman. I know you do well. Man. Hello, RG. Welcome to the stream. So glad to see the tornado threat is low here. You can see all the little areas of blue, which are very low-end areas of rotation here. Very, very tiny areas, if any, regions of rotation. Switch to velocity to verify some of those. This one's definitely a little area of rotation, little area of rotation here. Same with these two, same with this one. That one in, what is that, Plantersville? I don't think that's actually rotating. But this one's rotating a bit. This one's probably rotating a little bit northwest of Prattville. This one may be rotating a little bit in Elmore. This one's probably rotating quite a bit east of Canton. Same for both of these west of Cooper, west of Mountain Creek, but none of it is notable rotation to where we need a tornado warning or to the point where I think an imminent tornado is possible. We are now severe warning lists for, I believe, the first time in this live stream. So we're going to go back to our normal scene. And the sun is already setting out there in Georgia, so that's going to happen in Alabama in probably 15 minutes. So we'll be setting in Alabama. So I do believe from here on out, your instability is going to be decreasing, which will in return decrease your tornado threat. Nope, I do not believe the lower level jet will help because we already have lower level jet. It's an instability issue today. It is an instability issue today. Not actually wind shear. I do think YouTube needs to add some more chat features. Twitch is definitely ahead in that game, but I still prefer YouTube. Most of the reasoning behind me being on YouTube as opposed to Twitch is just because I don't want you guys watching that long of ads. I just know that I wouldn't want to watch 6-minute ads, 6-minute forced ads for severe weather coverage. So, you're welcome for being on YouTube. I try to keep things adless except for the start and the very end of the live stream. I don't put ads in the middle. Now, especially Legacy has said it a lot. Apparently, there's ads playing in the middle of my stream out of nowhere. But yeah, these areas of rotation are definitely weaker. You already said that, Michael. I just straight up forgot. I just did forget. Saturday, so today's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Saturday's threat is very low across the entire continental U.S. as well as Sunday and Monday. Severe weather potential will increase on Tuesday, September 17th, and then most likely increase again beyond the day 8 time frame after Thursday. Let me look at models real quick. So they said the 17th is when severe weather will be possible in the U.S. Maybe the 18th as well. I think the 17th and the 18th. Maybe even the 19th too. Yeah. I really think the 17th, 18th, 19th. The 20th doesn't look good at the moment, but the 17th, 18th, 19th, 23rd, 21st, 22nd. Those all look like possible severe weather days in the Central Plains. It does seem like our second tornado season's kicking off here. However, I don't think the tornado threat will be actually, notable with those troughs. I don't think we'll actually end up seeing a decent tornado threat. But yeah, we're going to wait for the NHC update here in 30 minutes, and then we'll probably end up concluding stream unless we end up with a tornado warning. All these just look like... They're all just mini supercells that are barely rotating. They're really good on reflectivity. Like, you could clearly see the curvature in the majority of these storms. But barely any of them are actually really trying to rotate. Like, there's little areas, very, very minor areas of rotation, but nothing looks like it's about to produce a tornado. It looks like a wannabe tornado outbreak. And it's not going to succeed at that. I can already tell you that. With the sun setting, instability decreasing, instability underperforming, it's a wannabe tornado outbreak. So thankfully this threat didn't verify. There's still a chance we get a tornado within the next 2 hour and a half. There's still a very low tornado threat from now all the way till 9. After 9 o'clock, that tornado threat decreases extremely rapidly. From here on out, it's slow decrease, and then after 9, it's a rapid decrease. Let's see. What didn't work, Caleb? Were you trying to ban the whole chat or something? You never know what Caleb's plotting. Let me see if I can get lucky in here for the last bit of the live stream. Probably not. He's probably asleep. I'm being real. He's probably actually asleep. Where's my phone? I'll text him on his number. Because he's always on D&D with Discord. Let's see where Lucky is. Oh. Alright, see if he'll end up joining. Gotta wake that dude up from his nap. Want to see if I could change my name to a blank character. I'm pretty sure that's against TOS. I'm not for sure on that one. Oh, he's up. I woke him up, y'all. I did it. Aren't you happy? I woke him up. Good morning, Lucky. You gotta speak, man. I know you're still tired from your nap, but you gotta get up. I think he's sleep calling. Are the wannabe supercells in the cluster around Montgomery having a hard time? Yeah, they're having a really hard time at the moment. They're very mini supercells. But they're having a very difficult time because of instability. Hi, Lucky.
Good morning.
Have you seen the wannabe tornado outbreak in Alabama?
Yeah, it's a wannabe.
It is. There's like 9... let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7. 7 storms that are like barely rotating but have a good supercell look to them.
That's crazy.
If the instability just went more northeast, this would be popping off.
You bet.
So how are you? I apologize for waking you up from your nap there.
I wasn't asleep, but I am. I'm hanging in there, bro. It's very tired. It's been a long week.
I want you. Oh, we're
Starting on Sunday.
back at a severe warning. I want you to do an in-depth dive on the potential for a tropical depression in the Carolinas. You don't have to talk about it, but I want you to just look at all the models and give me your thoughts. Look at the ensembles, the models, the wind shear, the dry air, all the possibilities.
Oh wait. Oh wait. There's possibilities. Oh wait. I didn't know there's a possibility of that. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You never saw the AOI?
Oh no, I saw it. All right.
That's a possibility, Lucky. That's a
I didn't care.
possibility.
I didn't care because not. I mean, what day is it supposed to be on? It's supposed to be on AA. Was that a Monday?
What
Oh
were you
yeah,
gonna
that's the
say,
worst.
Catman? Text me in DMs. I don't know. Check it yourself, man. That's your job. I've assigned you with that job, so I don't have to do it.
Oh well, guess what? I already got my in-depth thing. You ready?
Michael, I don't think you'll see anything unless it's just rain. I don't see severe weather. So you already looked at all the ensembles,
Yep.
all the models,
Yes, sir.
the whole NHC discussion.
Yes, sir.
You read that whole entire 6-paragraph thing.
Yes, sir.
All right, what'd you get from it?
So what I got was, you know,
You got to be realistic. You
the-
can't be.
all right.
It's North Carolina.
Okay, well, I think that there's gonna be a rain system. I don't think it's gonna be too much stronger. I don't think it's gonna get to barely anything. I think it may get like the highest. I mean,
Don't
the
go out of random wind
highest,
speed.
the highest that I think it could get would be a depression, but
That's what I
not
said
even
too.
that. Like maybe not even. It might be an invest. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't think nothing too much is
That
gonna
is
happen.
realistic. It could push an invest. I think that's realistic.
Like it might push an invest. So because I mean it's already an AOI, so it's already got that. But I mean,
It's just really gonna be
dude,
a rainmaker, huh?
it's really just gonna be just rain.
Oh
flash
wow, the
flooding, maybe.
the Euro completely hopped off of it.
It's like just imagine like Francine right now. Just imagine that all that like rain, but just weaker, and then in the Carolina. That's what it's gonna be.
That's a pretty good way to put it too.
It really is.
But it's also gonna linger over more time. I think we could see some isolated, significant flooding,
Oh, that's for sure. Especially in like you
coastal
know,
areas.
yeah. Now for me, is the word chasing? No.
I wouldn't fully rule it out for me, but it's looking a heck load less likely.
If it was a tropical storm, like a decent one, okay, maybe. But at the same time, I can't because I got school. So
Let's see
and it's
what
my last year.
Catman-
It's my last year. I might as well get it over with so that I can chase a lot of hurricanes next or tropical systems next year. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna be nothing too crazy, bro. No one's really gotta worry, honestly.
Yeah, Catman, it's definitely better that you didn't say that in chat. He's lucky with that one. You are correct. I would have gotten on you for that one.
Anyways, y'all, how's everyone doing?
Welcome, Parker. I don't know if I've seen you in here, Parker. Then again,
Who's Pie?
I apologize. We've had a lot of people. Who the heck is Pi? 3.14 just joined the chat.
3.14159.
Don't.
Something,
Hey, I'm gonna get
something,
copyrighted for a
something.
freaking math song, bro. Chill.
Bro.
Imagine I actually get copyrighted by a math song though.
3.14159. Something. What's the next numbers? 25245?
I
don't know.
you better watch out because that's how Sam got his name stuck as a different YouTuber for 2 weeks. He still hasn't changed his name back. 14 days, there he is. It's no longer Caleb. It's 3.14. I make a
Pi.
request that everybody call 3.14
Pi.
3.14 now. No, not pi, 3.14. It's got to
I'm
be
calling.
3.14. It cannot be PIE or PI.
Who gave Pi who gave Pi
Pete, you
mod?
can't say that. It's 3.14.
Bro, who get 3.14 mod? Like, come on now.
Yeah, y'all, when things don't play out, this is what we end up doing towards the end of the stream. We end up just start having a bunch of fun. Ah, man. Oh, I did want to show you guys. I haven't even shown you this. Yeah, I gave Caleb mod. Maybe I should take away 3.14's mod because I gave it to Caleb, not 3.14.
Yeah, honestly.
So
I agree
here's
with that.
today's risk for flash flooding. They have a moderate risk, 3 out of 4 for flash flooding, all the way from near Huntsville, Alabama, all the way down south of the Birmingham metro area. Slight risk, level 2 out of 4, and marginal risk, level 1 out of 4 surrounding that. Tomorrow, the slight risk continues. Oh, shoot. Never mind. The moderate risk now continues. They did upgrade that without me knowing. Moderate risk still in place, this time for tomorrow. Level 3 out of 4 for rainfall. Level 2 and level 1 out of 4 surrounding that. Day 3, that slight risk shifts northeastward. Level 2 out of 4 there. Day 4, that marginal risk appears along the coastline of the Carolinas for the potential of flash flooding from that tropical system Lucky was just talking about. And then the marginal risk remains over Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, and Tennessee. That's a level 1 out of 4 for the extreme remnants. And I mean like just some very isolated showers out of the remnants of Francine. Day 5, that marginal risk expands and now includes Lucky. Lucky is now inside that very... What happened? That very wobbly marginal risk for
That's me
excessive
trying to draw a straight
rainfall.
line.
Lucky tried to make this outlook because it's wobbly, bro. What the heck?
No, bro, I sneezed in the middle of drawing this. So
It's literally like what? Dude, somebody didn't know how to make a straight line here. This is
yo,
very
and then people are getting
wobbly
paid
marginal.
What are people getting paid? Like
Hey,
some type of
don't want
money?
to hate on the WPC now. An outlook's an outlook, man. That's a level 1 out of 4 there.
Oh, can we zoom into that? Can we zoom into
Imagine living. Wait, no. Imagine living on this side. You're this person's house right here, right around here. Someone lives right there, and the marginal risk just goes nope.
Like, yeah, so I don't think they're gonna get any rain.
Me and Lucky would live on this road here, where the marginal just goes nope. Dude, that's wild.
Bro, if y'all don't know, weather hates us. SPC hates us.
Well, it almost got to my house. Look, the WPC, they went up like they were about to include TRG and then just went, nah. Kept going. Lucky's like almost dead center of this. He's on the north center side.
I'm like the north central.
Yeah. Dead center is like north of Fayetteville, Lucky, and you're in, near Durham?
I would say it's to the west of Fayetteville.
Okay, yeah. No, okay, that is true. Northwest of Fayetteville, like right here. Like over Silver City, Sanford, Ashboro.
Honestly, where I was about to say where the North Carolina thing, like the state name was, but that's a little too far north. As dead center.
I'm gonna look at these storms again real quick. It looks like these are rapidly rotating further south, but that's because the radar's a little far, so you actually have to use this radar site east of Tallahassee, Alabama, not Florida. And then that reveals that there's literally little to no rotation there.
And y'all, if y'all don't know about tropical tornadoes, me and TRG learned this the hard way and with experience. They're very hard to chase.
And they're very fast.
Very fast.
Well, this in particular, these aren't very fast because your actual low pressure is way up here in almost Tennessee now. But the ones me and Lucky chased, man, Debbie was hauling to the north.
So, those storms were moving at 45, 50 miles an hour.
I consider that's fast, but that's not like really fast. That's right around.
I mean, we've seen a storm move at 100, so.
We have seen a storm move at 100. I think like 40 to 50 is right about average, honestly. But that's still pretty hard to chase when you're chasing in legit a state full of just broccoli. Like literally, the only place you don't see broccoli is when you're in the ocean and on the beach.
And y'all do not go onto the beach, like onto the beach. Like, you can
Yeah,
go,
I talked to them
don't
about that yesterday.
do not go onto the beach while chasing a tropical system. The sand will blow on you and it hurts. It hurts.
It's
You don't
Cloud Man instead of
understand.
Catman now. And then
And
3.14 changed his profile picture too.
and now Cloudman stuck with that for 14 days.
Man. Yeah. This channel's gone through 2 name changes, and I don't think it's gonna go through another one anytime soon.
2.
Yeah, 2.
TRD Eternal Tornado and TRG Tornado.
Nope, 2. 2 name changes. It's had 3 different names.
Was it Eternal? Like what?
Nah.
Oh wait.
Text it if you think you know it. I'd say only. Man, I'd say probably like 3 people know the actual OG name of this channel. Nope. I think only 3, right about somewhere between like 3 to 5 people actually know the very OG name of this.
Wait. Was I around for that or no?
No,
Okay.
you were not. Matter of fact, what you just sent, it isn't.
Oh, then yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna just get.
It is before that era. That's how long ago it was. But yeah,
That any of those?
Oh, well, the last one is getting close. Last one's
What
getting close.
do I need add characters, take away characters? What do I
I'll
need to
just
do?
tell you after stream.
Okay. Well, just in case
But-
of DMs get leaked, no one's allowed to know.
I mean, sometimes the Discord messages do show when I hover over it on stream. Normally, I keep it on our server though. Like he's like, hope they haven't seen all of our DMs. All right, see you later, Samuel. Thanks for tuning in. I don't know exactly when we'll be live next, to be honest with you. I'll aim for Saturday, but I don't know. We still have quite a bit of activity. You know, there's the potential for a brief tornado tomorrow out here. We could see an invest go into the Carolinas. Gordon's eventually, sometime in the next 5 days, going to become a named storm and actually be Gordon.
Just imagine it happens right now as you said that. Just imagine.
8 o'clock advisory any minute, man. And then we'll have a tropical storm make landfall out there in Baja California. However, we don't have radar, so I don't think we'll be covering that tomorrow. Although it's still a possibility. Same goes for the tornado threat in Alabama.
TRG erasable tornado.
Oh, there's a tropical outlook. That came out a while ago. No, they didn't upgrade it. That has got to be one of the tiniest AOIs I have seen.
That's what I'm saying!
Holy cow.
I'm just about to tell you that!
That's a freaking micro AOI. The
Bro.
X is bigger than the whole AOI.
That's what I'm saying!
It's not the complete tiniest, because I know we've seen some tinier ones, but that is small. Like, that is a tiny AOI, man. You gotta have some big-time confidence in the track of that one. Yeah.
So imagine it just goes a little more north.
Lucky just became a race car there for a second. Y'all hear that?
Bro.
I heard it. But that is a small AOI, man. Holy cow. I don't think they've actually updated Tropical Depression 7's outlook, actually. Is it still Advisory 17?
Yo, what's the Atlantic
Not
Standard
17,
Time, bro?
my bad. That's
many
what
hours
I'm
is
trying
that?
to figure out. I think that might be kind of like Eastern, but I honestly don't know. It should be Advisory 7, so if this is 6, it's Advisory 6, so it's not the new one yet. Honestly, I don't. I miss the OG Catman profile picture. Rip Catman. He'll never be the same anymore. He was a good mod while he lasted.
Oh,
I mean, at least he was better than you. Like you never modded.
I mean, I have, but I don't do it anymore because there's no need for me to.
Yeah, because you never tune in anymore.
I'm watching your stream right now. You're on Alabama. You're on the tornado watch. You're watching the little wannabe supercell outbreak. I mean, tornado outbreak. My
Super
bad.
Alfred, whoa, Lucky.
Supercell outbreak.
There's not 100 of them. Come on now. But yeah, we're only about 5-ish minutes away from beginning to wrap up the stream, y'all. I underperforming risk, which is that's good. That's good. That's good. Especially since I have family in the watch area, so glad to see it underperformed. There's still a chance we see a spin up out of one of these things out here over the next hour and 10 minutes, all the way till 9 o'clock. Then after 9, it rapidly decreases. Then after 9 o'clock, the threat for 90, potentially even greater than 90-mile-per-hour winds increases out here in Montana and North Dakota. It depends on how the evolution of that MCS goes. If it fails like it is now, we probably won't see much more than 70. If that MCS can really get going, we could see 90-plus mile-an-hour winds out there in Montana and North Dakota in that enhanced risk. 3 out of 5 for severe weather, which I'll show you guys that again. In that orange area, storms are already approaching that now, so. Peak of this threat will likely be about 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Eastern. Peak of this threat was about 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern, which is, as y'all know, it's already passed. And that typhoon, I don't think that typhoon is, I think it's not a typhoon yet, but it's still forecasted to eventually become a typhoon and hit around Shanghai, China.
Wait, huh?
Near category 2 strength. Was forecasted to be a major typhoon over China there, but did downtrend rapidly over the last 2 or 3 days, thanks to wind shear battering it now. And I'll still monitor that, but probably not going to do any coverage on that, thanks to it literally looking like a light rain shower at the moment. Wind shear is demolishing that. Report of a water spout offshore. Who the heck reported that? A freaking fish? Spotter on social media. What did you do? Did you hop in a boat and go look at it? What produced? One of these light rain showers produced a water spout. Are you kidding me? What? That's crazy. 50 minutes ago. Let's go to 50 minutes ago. Right here. That light rain shower produced a water spout.
Yes, we're back to the old days where there's like Pennsylvania. Every single rain shower is a tornado.
Dude,
I remember
that was
that.
a while ago. I remember that.
I remember that.
Wasn't there like a 5 or 10% in like somewhere else? Like I don't know where. Maybe it was.
It wasn't a 2%.
No, like we were tracking another threat for a few tornadoes, and then the area in a 2% and even some outside the 2% popped off in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, probably we're covering because our thing is our motto. Well, our wait. A while ago, our motto was anything 5% or higher we cover, which I think that's still
It's
for you,
still,
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you changed it. 'Cause I know you've been, you do like almost daily streams. I don't know if that matters or what.
Well, I do briefings so often that sometimes it interferes with 2% tornado risks.
Mm-hmm.
But some 5% I haven't covered because they look like too elevated, or on the rare occasion I'm busy. Because most of the time I'm able to clear my schedule for events greater than 5%. Unless it's overnight. If it's overnight, I can't do overnight. Overnight is murderous for me. But anyways, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're getting a little close to wrapping up the stream. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel with the notification bell set to all if you are new. Our goal for this month is to gain around 100 subscribers, which I don't know how close we are to that. I believe we're pretty close. I think we only have like about 40-ish left to go. And winter forecasts will be out probably on October 4th, unless that poll changes. We'll aim for October 4th at 5 p.m., or rather 6 p.m. Eastern. October 4th at 6 p.m. Eastern for the winter forecast to be uploaded. It's still looking like that as long as that poll for early to mid-October leads. That's what we'll aim for. So, yeah. Thanks for joining. Lucky, I'll talk to you after stream. And, yeah, go take another nap. Sorry to wake you up.
That's okay, man. I understand, bro. Hey, I appreciate every single one of y'all that joined this dude's stream today. Yeah, I hope you
Flash
guys
one in the
have
background.
have had a good week so far. Tomorrow is Friday, so you made it through another week.
Yes.
So that's
well,
good.
no, we got to get through Friday, Lucky. Don't jinx us now.
Well, Friday's Friday, bro.
We got to get through
Okay.
Friday. And then once it gets towards like 5-ish p.m. on Friday, then we've made it.
Yeah. So y'all got less than 24 hours until y'all got through the week. But anyways, I appreciate
Well,
you
technically
guys.
the week doesn't end until midnight on the night of September, Saturday. So Saturday at 11:59 p.m. is the last minute of the week.
And also, I could totally spill out a self promo. TJ, you gonna be loud tomorrow?
I don't know.
Well,
Literally.
I'm going to tomorrow. I don't know. It's Friday. Oh, you know what we got? You already know what we got. I ain't gotta say it. All right. So
You
yeah,
know what we already got. I don't even have to say it.
You already know what we have to do tomorrow.
No.
Yeah, you do.
I might have an idea, but I don't know.
Just think, bro. Just use your brain cells.
Text it and I'll tell you if I'm right. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys whenever I'm
I love
on
y'all.
next. Nope, didn't think of that, Lucky. Didn't think of that.
Wow, of course.
Thank you, mods
Okay.
for mod chat, including Cloudman and 3.14 and Pete as well. And yeah, talk to you later, Lucky.
Alrighty.
Say bye to stream.
Bye, chat.
Stay safe. Watch the video brother in the tropics. I'll see you guys in another live stream. Have a great rest of your night. Goodbye. Music, please. We'll have to skip some now, y'all. Sorry.
See you later, brothers.
Stay safe, watch severe weather in the tropics. Thank you, mods, for modding chat, and the 2 people who donated $4. Greatly appreciated, and I will see you guys in my next live stream. Have a great rest of your night. Good.